Pod. Pod. Quad. Pod.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Squad Pod Sports. We're bringing our thoughts on the latest games and sports news around the sports world. Brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network. A lot of news to talk about here. A lot of NBA news, a lot of deals being done with some high caliber players. We'll talk about that, of course. And then, of course, there's a lot of NFL news to talk about. First week of preseason has happened. We got to kind of see our first look with the rookie QBs that are coming out of the draft class. A lot of how it is at this time. A lot of them being overhyped. So we'll talk about that, of course.
And also only one game of film, too.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, exactly. So, we'll talk about that as well. And I do have a couple other things around the sports world to talk about before we hit the bias bubble and the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. So we'll just kind of hop right into the NBA here. You talked about MJ before we started. Perfect way to segue into it. I actually have MJ and Jerry Reisendorf are presenting Tony Kukoc into the Hall of Fame here later this year.
Oh, shit. Okay. Interesting. So he's going to be at least like a presenter in it,
Yeah, MJ and Jerry Reisendorf, the owner of the Chicago Bulls, are co-presenting, him into the Hall of Fame.
Awesome. That's awesome that they're going to be the two honorary people there for him,
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Which leads into you have an MJ
I do
to bring to the table.
I do. It's because speaking of all these mega contracts that players have been getting here, you got like Kevin Durant's getting $40 million a year, LeBron's getting 41, Dame's getting 43, Steph just signed the deal, he's still only getting 45 per year. Okay.
Yeah.
If you take Michael Jordan's contract from 1997 and 1998 and equate it to today's dollars,
like with inflation,
it would be $55.2 million. So he's still got the record for like the biggest contract type of thing,
Oh my God.
Like, his adjusted inflation contract would be $55.2 million per season.
That's crazy.
For perspective, so that was $33.1 million that he was making on the Bulls that year.
Yeah.
The second highest paid player on the Bulls that season would have been Kukoc, Harper, and Rodman, okay?
Yeah.
They were getting $4.5 million each.
Oh, my God, dude.
Michael Jordan was making the equivalent of over half of the Bulls' total roster for that season. They had $61.3 million to spend. They spent $31 million on Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and then you had like them make it 4 or whatever. And then you get Pippen and Rodman, who are making more than those other guys, but definitely less than Michael Jordan.
Well, Rodman's tied for second highest at $4.5 million.
Second highest. Okay, 4.5. Okay. Damn.
It's crazy. I just thought that
is crazy.
Saw that had
inflation 54 a year. 55 a year.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I did have another little thing here. We could segue perfectly into this. I had the highest paid duos, the most expensive duos in the league right now, okay?
Right now. Okay.
Now. And I'll just do the top 5, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That started at 5. The Blazers with Dame making 43.7 and CJ. Yep, CJ at 30.8.
Okay.
Then you have Milwaukee with Antetokounmpo at 39.3 and Chris Middleton at 35.5. Okay, totaling $74 million. Jeez. And then you have the Warriors, okay, with Curry at 45.7 and Thompson at 37.9, equals out to $83.6 million for just those two. Then you have the Nets, okay?
Yeah.
At number 2, James Harden at 44.3 mil, Kevin Durant at 40.9, equaling out to be $85.2 million.
Jeez.
Of course, because my Lakers have acquired Russell Westbrook, we are the highest paid, the most expensive duo in the NBA right now, with Westbrook being paid $44.2 million and LeBron James being paid 41.1. So they equal out to 85.3. So it's only $100,000 more than the Nets, but it's $100,000 more than the Nets duo at this point.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I didn't know that.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, you got to pay you getting into the big leagues. You know,
Got
I mean,
the
all
chip-
the thing that's with all those teams you mentioned, they're successful.
Yeah. They're all at contention every
They're
year.
all in contention. They're all in the playoffs every year. So I guess it pays, you know.
Hey, that's what you gotta do sometimes. You gotta pay the superstars and get that championship. Fill out the rest of the
Exactly.
roster with some role pieces, you know. They gotta be the right role pieces though.
Exactly. Now we talked about MJ and Jerry presenting two new co-coach into the Hall of Fame. Another one here is Kevin Garnett is presenting Paul Pierce this year.
Okay, interesting. So
Paul Pierce is going to the Hall of Fame.
Paul Pierce is definitely going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and Kevin Garnett's going to be presenting him into there, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. That's going to be really cool to see as well.
And Udonis Haslem. Now, this is a name that's been in the NBA for years now. He's continuing on. He's signing on a 1-year deal with the Heat, man. 2.6 mil. He's back. The Heat administration has just said, like, he's been loyal. He could play here as long as he wants. So as long as he wants to play, he has a home.
Pat Riley's going to keep him around. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, hopefully, like, it's like a player like Vince Carter. Hopefully he can still bring something to the team, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure he will, man. I mean, he's been playing this long. I'm sure he has, like, even if he's just getting, like, a couple minutes here and there, that's still something, you know?
And that Heat team is going to be really good next year, so that could be a key piece.
Exactly. That could be a smart, like, you know, keep him around move.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this at all. This is kind of former NBA news. J.R. Smith has enrolled at North Carolina A&T University to pursue a degree in liberal arts and also join the NCAA golf team.
Yep, he's just waiting for his what was it? Something from the NCAA. He's waiting.
Yeah, he's waiting to get like
eligibility
eligibility. Yeah,
right. To see if he can play on the golf team. Like, that's awesome, man. Like, I really hope that he works it out.
And I'll be out here trash talking these kids in college.
J.R. Smith on the PGA Tour someday,
right?
You know, that would be amazing.
That's just like the first step.
Yeah, just seeing what you can do on an actual golf team. You know, on the college level. I just think it's really cool. It's like a little tidbit there, like you said, former NBA, but that's really awesome. I hope he's successful in that.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was a really cool move. Not even just like playing golf, but also going back to school as well to get a degree, which is pretty cool. Right after the NBA, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go back to school.
All right, time to get it.
Yeah, that's a good move by JR. We talked about it past couple of weeks, but now it's official. Kemba Walker signs with the Knicks, 2-year, $18 million deal. I think that'll be a nice fit for him. You know, I think we talked about it last week a little bit where he was just like, I don't know, it seems like he doesn't play well when he has to be the focal point, when the spotlight's on him.
Not going to have as much pressure on him in New York. Like, I know it's still New York. Like, there's a lot of pressure that comes with playing in New York. But as far as him being responsible for buckets, like, and we've talked about this. I know they had Tatum there as well, but Kemba was brought there to be a piece, to, like, you know, to really be the number 2 at that point. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't think
New York's just built better for him because they have more depth, I feel. Right. Even the bench is decent. Like,
it won't be like if he's not doing well at a number 2 that the whole team's done then. Like, there's other pieces there where he won't have to be the focal point.
Exactly. I think that'll work out for him. Especially with Tibbs. It seems like Tibbs really knows how to work to like a player's strengths.
Yeah.
Let me see here. After 17 seasons, Kyle Korver joins the Nets as an assistant coach. He said, I'm just going to coach now. So, I mean, it's another big name, though, joining the Nets.
He's ring chasing.
I can't get one.
That's all that sounds like to me.
I'm just going to go coach. A couple players got the bag since we talked last week. Kawhi, it's official now. He signed a 4-year, $176 million deal with the Clippers. He's staying long term. Will Paul leave next year? That remains to be seen because he's a free agent.
Probably not, because Kawhi is probably not even going to really play this year. So I'm sure he'll be there. He'll stick around. Like,
I remember you said that. Yeah, that
we'll see, but
he'll miss some time.
Kawhi's probably going to miss the majority of this year here.
That sucks. I didn't even see that. I remember we talked about that before, but that's insane, man. A big, like a high caliber star, like you hate to see that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, MJ Joel Embiid, speaking of injuries and people getting paid, he signed a 4-year, $196 million deal with the Sixers.
Damn.
Yeah, so close to 200, but it's an extension which keeps him there through 2026 and 2027. And with that money added on to his already contract that he has, it reaches $261 million.
Damn. Joel Embiid's been balling. See, that's why, though, because he deserves it. And he was MVP candidate last year. So we'll see what he does this year going forward.
Yeah, exactly. And another person that got the bag, we were talking about the Celtics a little bit, Marcus Smart. He also signed a 4-year deal sticking around, $77 million.
Yep.
Celtics.
You said that they're going to be focused on him playing a lot of point guard this year.
Yes, they're not going to try to fix the point. I guess they got Schroeder, but I'm guessing they're not leaning on him as the starting point guard at this point. So they're moving Marcus Smart there. Yeah, and I mean they brought Inez Canner back, so I mean that's another big man they have there now. So I'm guessing they just gonna have Schroeder coming off the bench at point guard, unless they have another position in mind for him. But
they might run them both, but we'll see what that roster ends up looking like here.
They're in such a weird place now, man. I feel, to me, they used to be so dominant, like they were contenders each year, and now it's just like, what's going on with it? There's just a huge question mark.
They're just trying to figure out what their team identity is at this point still.
Yeah, it seems like they're lost. Like you saw a different team every time they played last year, and it's just not working. And maybe with the new coach, Brad Stevens, going up into the front office now, maybe they can find something to work out.
We'll see.
It seems like they're done experimenting at point guards through free agency at this point.
Yeah, but I'm speaking of, all these players being moved around. Yeah, Pat Bev has now been traded twice since our last podcast. Okay, he got traded to the Grizzlies, and then he got traded to the Timberwolves. But in that trade to the Grizzlies, the Clippers ended up getting Eric Bledsoe, which I think was pretty nice. That was a great pickup by them.
Yeah, it was Pat Bev, Rondo, Daniel Oturu to the Grizzlies for Eric Bledsoe. Which, man, you add Eric Bledsoe, when Kawhi's healthy, when he's playing, and Paul George, the rest of that roster, oh, man, that could be nice. It could be nice.
It makes me think back to, and it's been resurfacing now, when Pat Bev, whenever Kawhi and Paul George signed, and he said that stuff. He's like, I just won the fucking championship. You know what I mean? Like, oh, did you? Because you didn't even get close when they were on your squad, and then now you're not even on the squad. Like, and we've talked about before. Not huge Pat Bev fans here, so
whatever. We're not Pat Bev fans, but and then he got traded to the Timberwolves for Jarrett Culver and Juancho Hernan Gomez.
Hernan Gomez.
Hernan
Gomez.
So that's just some more depth. It seems like the Grizzlies are they're like, no, we don't want Pat Bev, his attitude on the roster. We're going to trade you for some more depth to our team. We're trying to build something here as well around Ja Morant. Yeah. So, with the Timberwolves, they're just trying to find any success as of right now. They're trying to find their identity and see what works.
See what happens. Maybe Pat Bev would be nice over there.
Maybe. Thanasis Antetokounmpo signed a 2-year deal to stay with the Bucks.
Yep.
So he's chilling with his brother. They're going to try to run it back. Monte Ellis wants to come back to the league. He wants to come back. What? He says he got some juice in the tank. He wants to play in the NBA again.
How old is Monte Ellis?
I don't know.
He's got to be he was there before Steph. What the hell?
Yeah, he says he thinks he has some left in the tank, and he wants to plot an NBA comeback. Apparently, he's been training. I don't know.
All right, let's see how it goes. See a couple months, Monte Ellis, if you make a roster.
Yeah. G League's already over. So the summer league. But he might have to start out on a G League, see if he can keep up.
Yeah. If he can play, fuck it,
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Jimmer Fredette's practicing the summer league and the G League.
Right.
Josh Hart signed a 3-year, $38 million deal to stay with the Pelicans.
Nice.
He's sticking around.
Former
Laker. And a rumor that was going around, we talked about before, about Pascal Siakam. Had a lot of teams looking at him. The Raptors GM came out and said that he's not being shopped. Right. And Pascal also said that he wants to remain with Toronto as well. So it seems like a lot of the noise was coming from the teams that wanted him, trying to stir up, some talk.
Controversy.
Exactly. And the last thing I have here is the Mavs are waiting for Dragic buyout rather than trading for him because he's with the Raptors now. Because the Raptors traded for him, and then he had like the big controversial statement saying that like he doesn't think that the Toronto's the best fit or something. I forget what it was.
I was like something with some backhandedness to it.
Like, where he's like, I do not want to
above that, or he's like, I'm above playing for Toronto or something like that. Like something crazy.
At this point, that the Mavs are currently awaiting him being bought out, and the Mavs are just planning on scooping him at that point. So Mavs might be.
That's a great more depth for them, man. And I like he said that I think that would be a great team to put together there, But
I think so as well. I did have one thing to do with your Lakers, but I'll save that for the bias bubbles.
One more thing here, and it does have to deal with my Lakers, so it might be the same thing. But they announced the opening day games and the Christmas Day games.
I do have that, and it isn't what I do have that as well to talk about, but it's not the other Lakers news I had to talk about.
All right. Well, they got opening night. We start with Brooklyn versus Milwaukee. Okay.
What could have been?
What could have been?
What could have been?
Alex about this today. He's like, yeah, we could show them on opening night, like what it would have been if we had healthy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you're not wrong. You're like, honestly, you're wrong. And then we finished the night with the Lakers versus Golden State
rematch.
Golden State at full strength.
Yeah. Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson. We'll see what happens with that. Christmas Day games that have been announced so far.
Nice little slate of games.
I think they will announce a lot more because they only said 2 so far, right?
I have the full list.
Oh, go ahead then.
Okay, yeah, I have at noon we have the Hawks versus the Knicks, which will be an all right game. That's it seems like they're both going to be within the 8 seeds, I'm sure, this year.
Right.
The Celtics and the Bucks, which that could go one way, or
the Bucks are stop them on Christmas.
That's what I'm thinking. I think they maybe put the Bucks and the Bulls on there. The Warriors and the Suns.
Okay.
Be a nice little Christmas Day game.
That would be I could see that being a really nice game.
Yeah. And then the Nets and the Lakers, which is going to be a great game to watch. You got their big 3 versus your big 3.
I was joking about this today. You want to take bets right now on the chances that both teams' superstars are healthy Christmas Day? Think about it.
True.
Like, what are the chances that we get to actually see Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden versus LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and Anthony Davis on Christmas Day? I'm saying 10% chance of that actually fucking happening. I'm going to put this on the board, okay? I'm actually going to say that I'm just going to go on a limb and say that one of the 6, like, it's not going to happen. We're not going to see.
Oh, yeah, I fully agree. At least one of the 6.
We will not see Lakers big 3 versus Nets big 3 on Christmas Day. Like, that's more or less going to be my prediction. I
agree.
I hope, but I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I put this on record here in August that I don't think that either teams are going to have their superstar healthy on Christmas Day.
I totally agree.
Not like season-ending injuries or anything like that, but somebody's going to be sitting out.
Yeah. And the last game of Christmas Day, the night game, is Mavs versus the Jazz.
Ooh, okay. See, I love seeing Luka on Christmas. That's
Luka
cool.
on Christmas. But that's a nice little slate of NBA games. I'm a little upset we didn't give one of them Bulls a reloaded roster, but that's okay. Got a lot of other teams in here. Maybe could have took the Celtics spot or the Knicks or the Hawks, but hey, it is what it is.
Take the Celtics spot.
Yeah. Bring the Bulls-Bucks rivalry back.
But I got that on the board here. Okay.
But that's the last bit of NBA news that I've had here.
Yeah, I'm all good on the NBA news here.
You all good? Okay, I'll save that one thing for the bias bubble then. We'll head right into NFL, man. Preseason happened. A lot of talk going around. Justin Fields, man, seems like he was the talk of week 1 of preseason.
Man, my prediction already. Like I said, that's why I write this shit down. I have Justin Fields will be the best rookie QB. Predicted that shit back in April.
I'm inclined to believe you, man. I fully
Bro,
believe it. He was out there balling. He was
he
throwing
is
dimes.
NFL ready. He's got some shit, not the best around him, but he's got better situations around him than a Trevor Lawrence.
Oh,
And
fully
like
agree.
I
They have a
just
defense and they have a couple weapons on offense. You got like David Montgomery. You
Mhm.
got Allen Robinson, who is like underrated as hell, man, in the
he's
league. I
one of the
mean,
most underrated wide receivers in the league.
absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, he has some weapons if he wants to use it, and his feet are a weapon as well. That dude is so
Yeah,
fast. They said
exactly.
like I forget they had like the speeds that they run, like they released like the fastest speeds from preseason week 1, and he was like number 3 or 4 on there, man. Like he's so fast.
I love
Um,
to see him out there succeeding, even though it's with the Bears.
yeah, and I mean, I didn't really get to see too much from Trevor Lawrence, but he didn't do too bad at all. I'll let you talk about your boy Mac Jones a little bit
Oh
as
yeah,
well. There really isn't much to talk about Jalen Hurts because he only played like 7. I think he only played like 2 drives or 3 drives.
yeah.
He didn't play that much at all. But I think he played all right. He played decent. I think he looked very calm
It was
behind
just
the
more or
buck.
less trying to get some game time reps in.
Exactly. And I think he looked great. He had a couple nice passes. He ran once. He played it very safe. He looked very like solid in the pocket. Like he didn't look like he was scared at all. It seemed like he's fully NFL ready at this point.
Right,
He's
right.
cool, calm, and collected. But there really wasn't much to say about it because he didn't really play much. But I'm sure he'll play more leading up to the season.
Absolutely.
Zach Wilson, apparently he had a great first game there with the Jets.
Trey
Now the
Lance.
Jets, Trey Lance. Oh my gosh, dude, Trey Lance. He gonna take
Mhm.
Jimmy G's job.
He might take Jimmy G's job and end up being the only quarterback who's got a chance to be better than Justin Fields this season. But like, I'm just saying,
You're gonna see out the end of the season. It's gonna be so close, and you're just gonna be like, oh my god, Jimmy G ended up getting hurt. I hope he doesn't get hurt.
I
Don't
hope he
get me
doesn't get
wrong,
hurt.
but if he gets hurt, Trey Lance gonna come in and start balling.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. As soon as Trey Lance gets that starting job, he's not giving it back.
No, you ain't getting it back. It's gonna
No.
be Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz situation for
Yeah.
San
See ya. He's gonna end up on like Cincinnati or something, you know what I mean?
But your boy also did very well as well. I actually
Mac
watched some
Jones.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Listen, I'm ready for the Mac Jones era to begin. I'm here. I'm all here for Cam, okay? I'm all here for Cam, but I'm ready for the Mac Jones era to begin. I don't want it to begin sooner than it has to, though. I want it to
I feel
just
ya.
be all natural. He did great out there. What was he? He was like, he didn't do like too much, but he was 13 and 19, 87 yards, 78.2 rating, like pretty just, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, didn't do
Yeah.
anything crazy, didn't do anything terrible. He had nice little dump off passes. Like, it was great. It was great. Okay. I was
Yeah.
happy to see Mac Jones out there, period. And he's got Jimmy Jones.
Jimmy Jones.
Jimmy Garoppolo's old number 10. So it's
Yeah.
nice to see like a new spin on the number 10 now. It's got a different feel for me. And I was super happy to see it. Cam Newton looked great as well. And then we had Hoyer play the rest of the game, I think. But
Right.
hey, I'm happy about Mac Jones and his debut, and I hope I get to see more of him this Thursday against the Amigos.
Yep, we do play each other. I know it's all preseason, don't matter, but man, I've been hyped for these preseason games, and especially like against your Patriots because I've been following what's been going on these past 2 days because we practiced
Seeing
together.
all these pictures of like the joint practices, and I'm just like, damn, this shit's crazy. Like they're just seeing like Patriots posted all these pictures of like Eagles helmets and shit like that.
Right,
Like
and the Eagles are posting shit about it's like they're friendly and it's weird.
they're super friendly, like
super
it's
friendly.
really.
There's
I saw a
pictures
picture
of Sirianni out there chilling with Belichick talking and stuff. I'm like, what is going on here?
super friendly out there. There ain't been no reports of no fights breaking out at like practice. There ain't been.
There's been reports of just little chat like trash talk here and there
Right.
while they're like playing, but
No
like other than that, yeah,
like,
no
it's
brawls.
been all smiles at practice, and it's a great thing to see.
It is really cool to see.
and move it along. You know, I think we got joint practices with the Giants, or maybe not, but we play them next, I think. So I would have to look into that a little bit more.
I feel like we might have joint practices with the Jets next week because we do play them, but I'm not sure. Maybe you guys were the only joint practice.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, that's really cool. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the bias bubble. I do want to talk about that. There is other news though. Talk about the Colts a little bit here. Colts GM Chris Ballard and head coach Frank Reich are signing contract extensions through 2026.
Damn.
Locking them down. The GM and head coach Frank Reich.
They're just like, all right, we're committed to you. That's showing them that they're committed to whatever plan they have going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's perfect. 'Cause, I mean, they had a great season last year, even with it was Frank Reich's first year or second year with them.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Second year.
Imagine if he had Andrew Luck.
Well, yeah, he had Phillip Rivers. Oh my God, if he had Andrew Luck, dude. Yeah, they might have won decent. They would have had more wins. And I think they already had 11 wins. So man, they would have been significantly better. But speaking of the Colts, Carson Wentz apparently might be going through walkthroughs here in the next couple weeks.
This motherfucker's gonna start week 1.
It seems that Carson Wentz and the offensive linemen are both on track to start week 1 somehow. Where they were given like a 5 to 12 or 6 to 12 week window. After 2 or 3 weeks, now they're looking to practice.
It is only 3 weeks since then, and what's the season? 3 weeks from now, so that would be the minimum of the 6 weeks that they gave.
Yeah. So I mean, surgery must have been a super success for them.
Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
There's pictures of them already out there, just like walking around. Wentz was out there just throwing balls. Like he wasn't practicing, but he was on the sidelines walking around throwing balls. Like this dude's gonna come back week 1 somehow. I don't know how he's gonna do it, but man, I'm all for it because we need to go out there and get us that first rounder next year. Get us that pick. But speaking of like Wentz situation, Doug Peterson has been making his rounds around the NFL. I don't know if you saw this at all. Doug Peterson last week sat in on Bears practice with his old boy Matt Nagy, hanging out with them. He was in Bears colors, hanging out, coaching up. He was helping players. And then this past week, he went to the Colts facility and was hanging out with Frank Reich, his old pal Frank Reich, and Carson Wentz, which apparently I thought they had a huge problem with each other.
Yeah, but they're just chilling, talking like everything's so cool now.
Right?
Like,
so it's crazy how that works.
I'm not impressed.
But
I thought he was staying away from football. Now I got to hear about your son playing for this team, and now I got to hear about he's popping up in random camps over here.
I guess he's still planning on making a coaching comeback next year, but as of right now, he's just kind of hitting different training camps, like helping out his buddies.
So let me see how some of these situations are, how some of these organizations are run.
It's weird, dude, because like even with the Eagles, we've been having like former players and like some other like former wide receivers from like other teams come in and like as interns. I have a story about that we'll talk about a little bit. But it's interesting how like different teams just bring in outside help just like to help coach a little bit or for a day or something, or I don't know. It's interesting.
Right. Stay away from New England.
Doug Peterson shows up. I don't think Bill Belichick's going to invite Doug Peterson.
They wouldn't let him on the property.
Yeah. He's knocking on. Hey, what's going on here? Wore his pay because he wore Colts colors there too, so he's gonna show up in Pat's colors.
We'll shoot on site
at Foxborough. Just hey,
if you see a visor, shoot.
He's showing up in that visor. Mm-hmm. This is pretty interesting. You remember for a second round pick Denzel Mims?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it's not working out for him in New York. Apparently, he's been practicing with the third teams all training camp. Yeah, and apparently he's just not fitting in with the scheme of the roster as of right now. So it's looking like he either is going to get cut or they might be trading him. Which like he's just like it's his year 2 for him. Yeah. Like damn, that sucks. I mean,
it happens all the time.
It does happen all the time, but I mean just to see someone that like he went super high like that, like as a wide receiver, and then just fall off. I mean, I think a part of that could also be like, Jets gonna be the Jets. Yeah, but I'd watch him go somewhere and just like start lighting it up. Former first round pick, Clinton Dix. He signed with the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
Still
Sure, of that
playing.
defense a little bit more there.
Yep. And this is very interesting. The Dallas Cowboys Twitter themselves posted an article, and this is what they posted. It's not a setback, and it's not a reason to worry, but QB Dak Prescott's planning another MRI. The Twitter account posted that and then posted an article about it. Says Dak to get another MRI, still eyeing September 9th game. But past couple weeks talked about it. Even Michael Irvin said it gives you a reason to worry. There's a little cause for concern what's going on, why they're hiding this.
Super quiet about everything out of there.
Super quiet. Yeah. So it's like, is this shit a little bit more serious with his arm than initially thought?
Oh, God. Dak Prescott. Come on, man. You just signed that huge deal, too.
Yeah, just signed it. It's like the Cowboys are cursed or something. The Jaguars coach, Urban Meyer, said that it's an open competition between QBs for the starting job between Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew.
Okay. Whatever you say, Urban. Just like Tim Tebow's not really cut, right? Like, whatever. Get the hell out of here. We can
talk about that too. As of today, they didn't even wait till week 1, like until the last roster cuts. It was the first roster cuts. They're like, you know what, Tebow, you gone. You're out of here. Tim Tebow has officially been cut from the Jaguars.
That block that you didn't even block anybody's been circling around the internet. It's really bad for business, so we're gonna have to get you out of here. Like,
why'd you have to do this? You played yourself, Tim. I'm sorry. You played
yourself. Sorry, you're not a tight end, man. You're not even a quarterback. Get the
fuck out. You're not even a quarterback. Sorry. Hey, we brought you in, and I think if you argue with me, it sounds a little ungrateful, Tim. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Gotta go. Get out.
Get out, Tim. But yeah, he's been released, and apparently there's a QB competition in Jacksonville. QB competition.
Yeah, well, okay.
I wonder who's going to start.
Did you see the Raiders stadium? Like they were saying that they're gonna have to have proof of vaccine to enter.
Yeah.
Or they'll give you a shot at the gate.
I didn't see that.
It's like, what?
I didn't see that they'll give you a shot at the gate. I think when you get the vax, you have to wait a while until it starts taking effect.
That's what it said in the article. I was like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, all right, I don't got my card.
Got my card. Give it to me.
Oh, they just got a doctor on site administering. Like,
wonder how many anti-vaxxers are gonna buy a ticket and go, and then they're gonna be like, I really want to see this game, and I paid this money to see this game. You know what?
Okay.
All right, I'll be happy about it.
It's like just to watch the Raiders lose or something. You know what I mean? Like, but I just thought,
son of a bitch, I shouldn't have got the vaccine.
I thought that was interesting. And then also, Washington is cut it down to 3 names.
Yes, I saw that as like a couple hours before we started filming.
But they didn't say them.
They didn't say what names. They were bleeped out in the video, I guess.
So, like, we're down to bleep, bleep, bleep. Oh, yeah, good names. Yeah, we're going to pick one of these. Like, come on now. Like, it's not that big of a deal that you got to keep it an exclusive
like,
secret.
if you have it to 3 names, just give us the 3 names. And then keep the secret for, like, the one you pick.
I'm so okay with the name Washington football team that I wouldn't care if you even picked a name. So, like, there's no, like, bonus to you keeping it a secret at this point. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I'm cool if you don't even have a name. It doesn't matter to me.
It really doesn't matter. And I'm sure the fans don't care either.
The fans are probably like, whatever, we're Washington. Like, you know, like, or they're still sticking with the old name, like in their own heads.
That's
you know
what I'm thinking of. I'm starting to think that one of the names is still like the football team. I feel like one of them is going to be just the football team.
I hope it sticks. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Bro. Feels like we live in a weird world where there's an NFL team just called Washington Football Team.
The Washington Football Team.
I love it.
They're not wrong. They are the Washington Football Team. Well, yeah, like we talked about that before. It seems like the name they're going to announce like after the season, or probably maybe during the season. Who knows?
Maybe during, yeah.
Yeah. But the next thing I have here, Lions release cornerback Quentin Dunbar, and they also released their long time. I think it was their punter. Here, I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if I saved it, but he was there for 17 seasons. Yeah, Lions cut long snapper Mulbach.
Oh, long snapper.
Yeah, long snapper. Sorry,
Don 17 years.
Don Mulbach. They cut him on Tuesday, and he's been there for 17 seasons, and they cut him on his 40th birthday.
That's ridiculous. Detroit sucks.
Flooded.
Detroit, you're trash. That's why you're consistently gonna be trash, because you treat your players like trash.
That's
Calvin Johnson, you treat it like trash. Barry Sanders, you treat it like trash. Matt Stafford, you treat it like trash.
Trash.
God damn.
Right, and they're not gonna have success. They're gonna treat Jared Goff like trash too, I'm sure.
Sorry, Jared Goff.
Sorry, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve what's happening to you.
I'm glad Matt Stafford got out of there.
Yeah, he deserved to get out of there. He should have been out of there a while ago.
A long time ago.
Speaking of being out of there, veteran running back Dion Lewis played 10 seasons and won a Super Bowl in New England, retiring from the NFL, despite having interest from at least 5 teams.
Nope, peace. Not happy with Dion because, like, my last memory of him is in a Titans jersey. And, so, like, I'm not too fond of that, but I'm super grateful for the time that he spent in New England. He did win a Super Bowl with us, so go Dion. Congratulations on your retirement.
Do the Dion.
I'm going to have him in a picture in, like, Super Bowl jersey down here. Okay? Not with the Titans.
Aaron Rodgers, Randall Cobb, and David Bakhtiari all posted on their Instagram stories that they want Green Bay to bring back Clay Matthews.
Oh, shit.
And it was all coordinated at the same time. So I guess this is their new way of trying to get to the front office that they want players. Is they're just going to post who they want on social media.
We'll see how that goes for them. I think Green Bay is just happy that Aaron Rodgers is back, and now they're going to spend this entire year trying to figure out what they do when they don't have him. They're not even going to try to, like, appease him to keep him for 2022. They're just going to let him go.
In between trying to keep him happy, they're going to try to figure out how they're going to make it work without him.
Yeah, like, I honestly, if you think about it, this, for them, they bought a year. They bought a year, have a quarterback. Like, I wouldn't even waste my time trying to make him happy, to be honest with you. Like, maybe on the surface, make it like
give
that.
the appearance that everything's okay, but in the behind the scenes, like, we gotta figure out what we're doing.
We gotta figure out what we're doing going forward here, because you're not part of the players, buddy. Like, we drafted Jordan Love. We got this drama with you, and the fans are pissed. We had to get you back.
We don't need it, and we gotta figure out how to do it without you.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
You gotta go.
Sorry.
You said you want to go. Now you gotta go. You gotta go.
It's like Messi. Like, watch next year. Aaron Rodgers won't want to leave.
You go cry at his press. I always wanted to be Green Bay. But I wanted to make my career here. Like last year, there was a whole thing. Like for months.
You were super pissed. You were going to retire. What do you mean? Like,
you came out in your first press conference for like 30 minutes explaining everything that was going on.
I just don't think we see Aaron Rodgers in a Packers jersey next year. That's another bold ass prediction, but that's too early.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's looking likely. This is another player I wasn't expecting to see in another jersey. Jason Peters agreed to a terms with the Bears. He's going to Chicago. And Matt Nagy said that he's actually in contention for a starting spot on that line. And I say, good luck to you with that. Because he's going to be jumping off sides, or he's going to be getting hurt.
He's going to get hurt 2 quarters into the first game.
I love you, Jay. I love the bodyguard. Love JP. But, dude, you got to hang him up, man. It's time. I mean, unless you're just cool with being a backup. That works, too. But, man, I don't see him as a starter. But best of luck to him, man. He's still continuing it into his mid-30s.
Yeah.
Late 30s, it says.
Had a lot of injuries.
And speaking of a former Eagle, we talked about it the other week, who was a free agent. 49ers are signing Michael Kendricks. So that's another piece of defense that the 49ers are trying to add to.
Wasn't he there at one point?
No, he was with the Seahawks, Eagles and Seahawks.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and then he had like all the legal drama and issues and stuff. Washington football team this morning released Pro Bowl running back Lamar Miller.
Okay.
So he's a
Yeah,
free
he
agent.
hasn't been able to stick with the team lately. Like,
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, this is when the teams are cutting rosters down. I think they have to cut it down to like 83 or something. So now you're just kind of seeing some releases, cap casualties, or
cap
just roster
casualties.
casualties, or I don't know what you want to name this one. It's not really a cap casualty. It's
It's just training camp cuts.
Trady can't cut. The Saints released cornerback Prince Amukamara, so he's going to be out there, cornerback. So it was a super short stint in New Orleans for him. Let me see. He is next. I just have a lot of bias bubble stuff. The Falcons are the first team in the NFL to be 100% vaccinated
Okay.
as of right now. They beat them to the punch. Not the greatest in everything, but the Falcons are number one at getting the first to all vax.
Good for them.
The Giants released running back Alfred Morris. So it's another cap casualty or roster cut. Yeah, it has to be down to 85, it says. And the Chiefs waived wide receiver Antonio Callaway.
Gotcha. Did you see Jamal Adams signed the 4-year deal for $70 million out of Seattle?
Highest paid safety in the game.
Sticking around for a while there at least. Like, so I think Seattle has a good chance to be pretty good this year. They're going to be in that tough NFC West, but still, like, they're going to be fighting. What, they have them third? Remember that ranking that you had? But I think they're going to be more like second or potentially win the division. We'll see what Arizona does, but
yeah,
that's what I think there.
We'll see. Speaking of Arizona, Josh Rosen, who Arizona drafted, has just been cut by the 49ers, and now he's looking for his fifth team in 4 seasons.
He's done, man. Like, I mean, he'll probably end up as a backup somewhere, but he's not going to be. He never got the development that he needed.
Yeah. And I do have 2 little things here. This is a little bit of bad news. Exclusive interview with Tony Busby. They claim that the FBI is now investigating Deshaun Watson.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, the FBI has probably investigated a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of rumors going around that he's involved with some other shit that's not good, other than on top of the other stuff that he was.
We'll see what comes to light.
Of. It's all accusations, but man, if they're true, get them out. You know what to do. But I mean, who knows what's going on with him? We'll see what comes
to light and what documentaries get published years from now.
It's inevitable at this point, because this is like the biggest story that's in the NFL for years now. Other than like Deflategate, this is like huge. Like, what's gonna happen? Yeah. Like, what's gonna happen with Deshaun Watson? But the last bit of news I have here, but we have to have our obligatory Tom Brady talk.
What this motherfucker up to?
This is not what he's up to. This is what he can do. This is what Tom Brady can accomplish in 2021, and there's a list. Tom Brady can break the all-time record for pass yards. He needs 1,155 completions and needs 364. He needs 364 and 3 passing touchdown games. Needs 5.
So it's going to be no problem.
So he can break the all-time record for pass yards, completions, and 3 touchdown games.
Which I'm sure all 3 will happen.
Yes, absolutely.
And
he's definitely getting more than 11. He's definitely getting more than 1,100 yards this season passing. Gonna have more than 364 completions, and he's probably gonna have 3 passing touchdown games, I would assume.
Yeah, most likely.
So that's probably another achievement locked up for him. He's gonna be breaking records again this year.
I'm not happy about it. It doesn't sound the same now. It just doesn't sound
because now he's doing it in Tampa.
And I'm like, oh, cool, Tom Brady. Fucking, I wish it was still in a jersey like this. Why can't you still be in a jersey like this? Why did Bill have to chase you out of town? Come on, Bill. I still got the picture. The picture's here all the time,
Never forget.
Never forget. But I'm not happy about it right now. Like I said, I'm happy to celebrate Tom Brady once he retire. Okay.
He's could also become the first QB with multiple wins after turning 44. He can make his 300th career start, which would extend the NFL record currently at 299.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's at 299 right now.
Yep. And win a game versus all 32 teams by beating the Patriots in Week 4.
Not gonna happen.
Win 8 Super Bowl title. No other QB has more than 4.
No team has more than 6. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm now that I'm on the other side, I start to realize the absurdity of Tom Brady. Like, and I definitely realized it beforehand, but like, it's just like
It's
I could
absurd.
see why everybody was like, man, fuck the Patriots, fuck
this
Tom
guy.
Brady. I could see it now because he's just like his accolades make you mad. You're like, Jesus, like, how could one person have 7 Super Bowls? When
Yeah.
there's no team that has more than 6, like it's just it's ridiculous, bro.
And the last thing he can accomplish is tie Michael Jordan for most championship round MVPs in the NFL, MLB, NBA, and NHL. So this dude, he still has a lot to accomplish going into like his 21st year, 22nd year.
Oh, just the 6 of the 40 records that he hasn't broken yet. That's what he
exactly.
has to fucking accomplish. This fucking listen.
Fucking guy.
All praise Tom Brady the Great. Okay, yes, I love Tom Brady, and I love Tom Brady. I'm happy, but fuck him. Okay, listen, I have my personal. Let's switch gears here a little bit.
Okay.
My personal top 5 quarterbacks for fantasy football this year.
Oh.
Okay. Every week from here on out, I'm gonna give top 5 or top 10, depending on positions of like
Awesome.
fantasy football picks here. Okay.
Okay.
This is not top 200. This is just quarterbacks. Okay. Starting at number 5, Lamar Jackson. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Great fantasy football quarterback. Everybody
Yeah.
knows it. Everybody
Everybody
knows it. Potential to be the number 1, but he's with the iffiness that he's had last year. So I put him at number 5 there because of his legs. He's got the wheels, you know.
Yeah.
Number 4, Kyler Murray. The same thing. A little bit of a better arm on him, so I put him a little bit ahead of Lamar Jackson, but he's got the wheels. He can run for 2 touchdowns, throw for 2 touchdowns type of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen at number 3, very consistent, like, you know, reliable type of quarterback. You plug and place type. Forget about it.
He has a hell of an arm on him, and he could kill you. He got the wheels.
Got them wheels, man. If you got wheels, you're gonna be successful. Okay.
Exactly. You got to have them wheels nowadays.
Gotta have them wheels, and his name is Wheels. Number 2, Russell Wilson.
I was hoping you'd have him. I was waiting. Old WrestleMania, brother. Every
looking at
year.
a list that was like, just for some research on this, I was looking at a list. They had Russell Wilson at like 8, 7, something like that. I was like,
Yeah, do it.
what are you talking about? This dude's gonna be probably the second best quarterback behind Patty Mahomes.
He's
who is my number
consistently
1
like a
pick.
top 3 QB every year in fantasy.
Every year.
That's
So
why I draft him every year. It's because he's
I
so
put
damn
it-
good.
I put Russ number 2. Like, if you have a chance to get Russ, if he's still available, scoop him. You know,
Yeah.
maybe like late second, third round, but scoop him. So, and then Patty
Definitely.
Mahomes, I'm not gonna be mad at you if you draft him in the first round. Hopefully, you don't draft him number 1 overall, but if you draft him late
I
first round,
figured you'd have old Patty
Set.
Mahomes.
Patty Mahomes number 1. No Tom Brady.
No Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Even
But
though you
that-
did have picked as your MVP possibly this year.
Yeah. But he's not gonna be the
It's
best.
not going to be the number 1 QB in fantasy.
I didn't have Aaron Rodgers on here because, like, I was thinking of the passing and the running. Like, the quarterbacks
that makes sense.
to get the most out of fantasy wise. I know Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers is great, Tom Brady is great, but like, that's why I put my list as I did here. you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have any more NFL news other than the bias bubble. I don't know if you do.
Nope.
Okay. I do have a couple little things here to hit on. The NHL will have advertising on the front of their team jerseys for the first time starting in 2022-2023 season. The league's board of governors formally voted this month to approve the jersey advertisements. And man, it seems like they're trying to do that just to get revenue back.
Yeah.
Pandemic.
And really, it doesn't feel as weird to me now that the NBA is already doing it, and I've seen it there for a couple years, so it's not as super weird anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And the second thing I have here, Carly Lloyd has announced her retirement from U.S. a women's soccer team.
Mm.
Man, she has a resume. She is a 2-time FIFA World Cup champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and 2-time FIFA Women's Player of the Year.
That's crazy. That's amazing. Congratulations.
So she announced her retirement, which is awesome. So best of luck in whatever endeavor she goes to. She said that she doesn't see herself as like a commentator or anything like that, but she's still looking to stay within like the game in some fashion.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Whether she's a coach or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's all I have as far as anything between every other sport league or anything. So we can just hop right into the bias bubbles here, man. I know we got a lot to talk about. So what you got, man?
I'm going to start with my Lakers. Let's get this out of the way here. We were working out Isaiah Thomas and Darren Collison, okay?
That's what I had. Thomas.
I was like, ooh, okay. Like, even if we have him as a bench player, like, come on now. Like, I would love to have Isaiah Thomas back on the team coming off the bench.
Exactly.
Like that spark, man. And even Darren Collison was nice. Like, he's a nice piece, man. So we'll see what happens. Neither of them were signed, but they did work him out.
Yeah.
Apparently, Jared Dudley may not be returning after all. Free agency. Elmer Fudd may not be returning. Apparently, it's going to be like a roster cut type
cap
of
casualty.
He might end up being a cap casualty. We're not going to be able to get him re-signed here, which kind of sucks because he's such a good locker room presence.
Yeah,
and I like having Elmer Fudd on the team, and like all the pictures you see of like LeBron and Westbrook out, Dudley's there too. You know, like so he seems like he's actually real good friends with LeBron. So it's going to suck if he isn't on the team, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We lost Caruso. I didn't want to lose Caruso, but we lost Caruso, and now we're going to lose Jared Dudley too. So there's some glue guys. That's what they call them. Glue
I saw
guys.
that it wasn't even like Caruso's fault. Like apparently Caruso wanted to stay with the Lakers, but it was the Lakers were in a position where they're like, we just can't keep you for that price. Yeah, we can't afford you. We have to let you go.
Hard.
You ball too hard.
You ball too much.
Go get your money.
Go get money. But and then the next thing I had here was a little bit tidbit. Not LaMelo. The hell am I saying? Carmelo Anthony had an interview where he was talking about the draft in 2003 and how the Pistons flat out lied to him about taking him. You know, and he remembers. He said that it was all the way up until the day of the draft they were promising him that they were going to take him. And it just didn't happen. And he was saying that he thinks because they ended up going and winning the championship that year, the Pistons. He said they could have ended up maybe going back to back, two-peat.
I saw that. And what could have been, man, if Melo was on that team?
That could have been crazy because, like, he was even saying he could have learned so much from those guys.
Yeah.
You know? But
dude could have started out his career with chips.
Yeah. Instead of chasing them right now when he deserves them by this point, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's on the Lakers now. Their goal is literally to just win a championship, to get Melo and Russ a chip. Like, that's all.
That's
like.
You guys are all. You're like the Nets at this point, where you're like, if it's championship or bust right now.
It's not make the playoffs. It's not Western Championship. It's if we don't win the finals this year, it's a failed season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not even saying we're necessarily good enough to win the final, but that's the goal.
Yeah.
Like that. It's not like they're making it very public. Like, we're trying to win a chip this year. Like, and I know every team's out there, you want to win the chip every year, but you got teams like Detroit.
Their goal is to make the playoffs. Just like how the Bulls is. We're looking just to make the playoffs as of right now, then chase the chip. But
like even last year, I know our goal was to repeat, but like it just didn't look as promising as it did.
Yeah. You just get a certain vibe.
Right.
From each team.
So see what happens, man. But I'm glad Melo's on the team, man. It finally happened after all the years. And then the Clippers are officially moving out. Okay, they're moving out.
They're moving.
New stadium in Inglewood. Okay, it breaks ground in August, and apparently they will be officially out by the 2024-2025 season. So deuces, Clippers.
I didn't say that.
That's the Staples Center. It's ours. Get the fuck out. You never won nothing here anyway. I don't even know why you share a stadium with us. Like, it doesn't even make any sense.
I'm surprised they haven't built a stadium already for him. But that's awesome, man. Now you don't have to share it with anybody. That's your own stadium.
Get out of here. Peace out. Have fun in Inglewood or wherever you go.
Maybe the Clippers will actually have some success in their own stadium. Maybe they're cursed because they were in the Lakers stadium.
Doubtful. but we'll see. Okay.
Will they still be? I guess it's still LA, so they'll still be the LA
They'll
Lakers.
still be LA Clippers, just getting their own arena.
Yeah.
You know? And then the last thing for the Lakers here, with Rondo getting traded now, a buyout is very likely. And they're saying that he's going to be a target for the Lakers if he is bought out. So I was
He's gonna bring him back.
Yeah, I'd be happy to get Rondo back, man.
Man, playoff Rondo is what a lot of teams need.
Yeah, man. We could have used it last year against some Suns, man. As far as my Patriots go, QB is looking great. QB's looking great out there all week in the joint practices here with the Eagles.
Yep.
Nothing crazy, nothing like super flashy or anything, but just consistent play out of all the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm reading here. Cam Newton said Bill Belichick has not settled on a starting quarterback for week 1.
Yeah.
There's no starting quarterback for week 1 yet. So that's just some BS Bill Belichick stuff. Cam's going to start, but even Cam said, he's like, I know as much as you guys do.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, we already talked about. He had the great debut there. Nothing's flashy, but really good.
Mm-hmm.
We got Hunter Henry back. Okay.
Oh, he's back now.
Back. But Jonnu Smith is hurt.
Oh, man.
That's some shit, bro. Jonnu Smith has an ankle injury. He left the other day. It doesn't look crazy serious or anything like that, but it's still something to keep an eye on there.
Yeah,
but Hunter
absolutely,
Henry
with ankles.
With the shoulder injury, is back. He's not full practice participant, but he's back. And then David Andrews as well, who was missed. He missed because of the birth of his son, and also a hand injury, but he's back as well. So
okay,
getting some pieces back, losing some pieces there. You know how it is, man.
Yeah.
And I did have one little tidbit about Tom Brady, okay, but it was just talking about his stupid ad for Madden. Did you see it?
I didn't know.
Okay, after this podcast, look it up. It's super
up.
dumb. But he's on the phone trying to recruit for something. I don't know exactly what's going on, but he's like calling old Patriots and stuff like that. Like the first person he calls, it says Jules, and he's like, Brewski, and he's like, Randy, I know you can still play. Like he's trying to, but he's like calling like all these old Patriots are just like no. But it's a dumb ad, and it's like the Brady Bunch type of like theme.
Oh my gosh,
it's so dumb. But like I suggest you even just watch it just because it's Tom
I'll have
Brady.
to check that out.
I just had to throw it out there. His stupid ad that he had.
Old Tampa Tom, he's open to doing more ads and stuff now.
Whatever fuck Tape Top wants to do now, I guess. Like he's free to just be his own person now, I guess.
You have anything else, man?
I'm all done with my bias bubble.
Okay. I do have a couple Chicago Bulls things here. Apparently Chicago are interested in forward Maxi Kleber and a potential sign and trade with Dallas, the Dallas Mavericks, involving Lauri Markkanen. They're definitely trying to get rid of Lowry. Lowry doesn't want to be in Chicago. So it seems like at this point, they've narrowed it down. It seems like the best possible thing that are happening, according to an inside source, is that they're going to get players back in a sign and trade with Lauri Markkanen. The Bulls apparently are interested to get Paul Millsap or to bring LaMarcus Aldridge back if he's cleared.
Right.
And the Bulls also have 3 roster spots open as of right now. So, I mean,
so
they're looking.
Definitely going to be making moves here by the beginning of the season.
Exactly.
100%.
Lowry's definitely gone. And, I mean, bringing that Maxi Kleber, he's like 29, I think, but he's like, he'll play that power forward, like bring some depth to the role. I mean, I love all the moves that they're making with the Bulls now. It's great, man. And I think next year it's going to be even bigger. I think they're going to go out and try to get someone really, really good next year.
Because this year is more of a prove it year to see how good you can be, even with what you have now, to attract a free agent to come next year and put you over that hump.
I was ecstatic that we were already attracting free agents, but now if we start performing, get to the playoffs, maybe win a round or something, then we'll start looking like that big market team again.
Right.
But that's all I have for the Bulls. Not much going on as far as it's pretty much as of right now. When is Lauri Markkanen going to get dealt? Yeah. As far as the Eagles, this is a pretty interesting thing I saw today. Eagles coach Nick Sirianni said that he plans to meet with every player that gets cut during the roster cutdowns, which is pretty unusual for coaches to do, apparently. He says that I think it's my job as a head coach, and I owe that to every guy I talk to help them and give them more feedback to help develop their career going forward. So he's like, even though you didn't make our roster, I want to help you be a better player. That way you can go out and get a roster spot somewhere else. But he plans
even
to
if
meet
it's
with
back here someday.
exactly, and I think that's pretty damn cool that he's just like meeting with every single player that gets cut. Like, listen,
Right.
this is what you can work on. This is like something you can go forward with, which I thought was pretty cool. Speaking of roster cuts, we talked about him getting signed about a month or so ago. Old running back Kerryon Johnson from the Lions got cut. Waived him today. He got cut today. Also with center Luke Juriga and tackle Casey Tucker. But yeah, man, I wasn't expecting to see Kerryon Johnson. I know he kind of had like a little knee injury, but I didn't think he was going to get cut. But we have a lot of running backs on the roster, and it seems like Jordan Howard's he's gonna keep that one spot.
Jordan Howard played that crazy nice block week 1, man.
Saw that, bro?
That was insane.
I think that's why he's still on the roster.
He was like completely out of the play, and then it's like something in his head clicked, and he's like, and just oh man, that I saw it, I respect it. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think I don't know how many they're gonna keep on, but it's definitely gonna be Sanders. I think they're definitely gonna keep Kenneth Gainwell, the rookie we just picked up. It seems like Jordan Howard's going to be sticking around. So I don't know if they're going to keep Boston Scott or not. I don't know if they're going to roll with 4 running backs or not. So here's a little bit of trash talk that was happening today. Kevon Wallace, his second year with the Eagles, he's been having a great training camp these past couple weeks. Apparently he was heckling and trash talking Cam Newton today at practice.
Oh yeah.
During drills. He was relentless, saying, not only are you throwing checkdowns, that's all you ever do over and over. You're the king of it. That he was trash talking. Apparently Cam got annoyed. He asked to step back in for 3 more reps and didn't throw his way once. Didn't throw Wallace's way once. But yeah, there's been a lot of chirpiness going on. Like there wasn't any fights or anything.
Right.
Like we talked about earlier, it seemed like general consensus is a lot of players are having a good time out there. But when they're playing, there's a lot of trash talk. Apparently every time Jalen Mills would run by the Eagles sideline, they would all chirp at him, try to get in his head a little bit.
Like, oh yeah, you better stay away from here, man. You over there with them now, like some shit like that. Like
exactly. And this is I shared this with you, and apparently they confirmed it today. One of the reporters, Zach Ertz, was introducing Julie Ertz, his wife, to Coach Belichick, and they were talking. And Belichick told him, "I'm still gonna get you someday, but Howie wants 2 first-round picks and 2 of my grandchildren."
It's 2 of my grandchildren.
But man, funny. It seems like Bill Belichick maybe I have his eye on Ertz. Maybe not this season. 2 guys already got like 3 tight ends. But man,
I hope Bill Belichick is our coach for the foreseeable future. And I know he's already said before, like he doesn't see himself coaching into his 70s, but he's closer to that than he was back then. Like maybe he does see that now, where he's like, yeah.
But man, I mean, if the Eagles play Zach Ertz out on his contract this year, he's a free agent next year. Goes to New England.
Signs with us for the low.
Signs with you for the low or something. Who knows? Brandon Graham was interviewed today, and this was his quote. When that time comes, when he's talking about retirement, when he says, when the time comes and the Eagles don't want me, then I'll probably be done. I love it here. I don't want it to say any other team other than the Eagles on my Wikipedia.
Yeah.
He said, if the Eagles don't want him anymore, he's just going to retire. That's how he's going to go out. That's awesome, man. That's loyalty. Brandon Graham, that dude.
Can always respect players that do that.
Yeah. Nick Sirianni said that he plans that he held Miles Sanders out from preseason, not to any injury risk or anything. He just wants to keep his legs fresh.
Yeah.
Apparently he's planning on working him a little bit into the preseason going forward. But the plan is to rest. I mean, we talked about it last week where the practices are significantly shorter.
Yeah.
Just to keep the players fresh, keep away from the injuries. And that's what he's really trying to do here, which is awesome. And talk about some obligatory Jalen Hurts talk. I got to do it this week. Greg Ward says Jalen Hurts is all football all the time. Said he'll randomly talk about plays and calls with the other wide receivers all the time, whether it's in practice, a cold tub, or while they're eating. And Jalen Reagor also says that walking around the facility, Jalen Hurts will just quiz him and ask
Just
him
out
about
of nowhere. I
out of
read that
nowhere.
too.
Just ask him about like what are you supposed to do on this
Where
play,
do you line up and what route do you run on this? And he's like, okay, I was just checking. Like
right? And like, man, that's just it's awesome. And it's even better because I be seeing all the Boston reporters from these joint practices, and like all the New England media are just saying nothing but great things about Jalen Hurts. And like not only that, but the Eagles team in general, which is like that's pretty cool. Even like because you see kind of I don't know, I see a very different side of the Eagles media where they're like very cautious about certain things, where they're like, oh, maybe he didn't look this great. But from like a different point of view in Boston, they're like, man, Jalen Hurts looked great during these past couple days. He's throwing dimes. The team looks great. The defense is amazing. And I was like, oh,
Eagles media's
okay.
like
It's hyping me up a little bit where like other teams' media are like, they're saying the Eagles are good. So it's like,
yeah,
it make me a little bit more excited going forward.
gotcha.
And today, Devontae Smith back at practice. He was working
There you go.
individual drills. Apparently tomorrow he's going to be back with actual team drills. And apparently Nick Sirianni's kind of working him into preseason a little bit. Like he's not going to have him play a lot, but apparently they're trying to have him in a little bit during a couple preseason.
Interesting. So he'll be back week 1 as well.
Yeah. They said none of the injuries on the Eagles roster are going to affect week 1 status. Everybody's currently healthy, like the whole team. So that's awesome as well. And the last bit of news I have here isn't even Eagles, it's Patriots news. And it's nothing, I would say it's nothing to be concerned about, but it's something to keep an eye on. Mac Jones talked with the media, and apparently he's wearing a brace on his left knee, and he said it was something that he wanted to try out for protective reasons.
Yeah, he was just. I saw that as well. Okay, and he was just wearing it to see how it felt. He's like,
I understand. I didn't know. I was
like, I'm gonna let you know.
Just want to let you know. Maybe.
Listen, I saw that and I was like, and then I was like, okay, wait a second.
I figured it would be worth noting at least.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's wearing a brace on his knee.
But he's fought. He's just trying to see how it feels, Just trying to see what it feels like.
Let me see here. Now that's all I have as far as the bias bubble and everything. I don't know if you have anything else, Vern, of any note.
Nope.
So we can just hop right in here to the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast, of course. In 1991, Sports Illustrated predicted that the NFL of 2001 would have a 20-game season and would have 40 teams.
Oh, my God.
Including squads in London, Paris, Berlin, Tehran, Johannesburg, Bombay, Jakarta, Sydney, Auckland, and Mexico City.
Jesus. They were way off.
Like, that was in a span of 10 years. They thought that was going to happen in 10 years.
Yeah, like that. I mean, I don't know what to even think, like, because they were on the right path. Like, I could see everything they said being realistic, just not.
I mean, next year, we're up to 17 games. Next year, we'll be up to 18.
Yeah. So, and then I know they're probably going to add expansion teams eventually.
I feel like that's for sure going to happen here in the next like 5 years or something.
8 and 10 years and adding 4 games, like that's some
40 teams. 40 teams and 20
ridiculous.
Games. Like what were the writers of Sports Illustrated on then?
Ridiculous. I actually just saw something today, kind of like going back if we're doing like old stuff like that, where when LeBron James announced that he was going back to Cleveland, it was like live on SportsCenter that he released it via an article in Sports Illustrated. So that's how it was announced.
Yeah.
And Chris Broussard or whatever his name is like on live, and he's just like, they're looking, he's like, is that confirmed? He's like, yep, that's confirmed. You know what I mean? Like they had to get Chris Broussard confirmed that LeBron James is going back to Cleveland. And like, it was on this Sports Illustrated article. Like the article that I was reading today was talking about like, thinking back to that time that Chris Broussard broke the news on LeBron James by reading an article and
by reading something that was already in print.
Like, yeah, exactly, bro. Like, it was just so funny, man.
He's like, "Is that true?" He's like, "Hold on."
He's like,
"It is true."
But I'll send you that video though. Like he's just like, is that confirmed? He's like, that's confirmed. That's confirmed. You know, he's like, this was over. This was over a long time ago. You know, they didn't write this article this morning. Like, you know, like he just, oh my god,
That's
it's
awesome.
ridiculous.
I didn't know that. But that's the show for this week. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter at SquadPod Sports. We may have a little special guest here coming up here within the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. And we are on our way to 700 followers on old Twitter there. So if you could reach out, send a follow to us, and hey, reach out, say hi, and leave a comment if you want. Tell us how we're doing, what we can improve on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for even watching the program here. And we'll see everybody next week.
One.
Peace.